What's going on YouTube? It's the old guy, Patrick Ramsey. Welcome back to YGO Podcast. I got another deck profile for you guys today. If you couldn't tell by the thumbnail, we're going over Magistas. So this deck is hasn't received a lot of support. It's received some cards, some other things and whatnot over the course of its history. But as far as a deck that it's always been overshadowed by stronger archetypes like Invoked or other things, but it's never really got much love, even though it's got a full extra deck, it's got a full deck. I think it's just missing one or two cards. So the archetype is based off of equipping monsters. So each of the main monsters equips a monster from the extra deck, which allows it for extra play. So this is the deck profile. I just want to go over it. Make sure that you guys like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you have anything. And you guys have been really hitting me hard in the comments and, with the questions of, hey, what do I play for this? And, I try to give as best feedback as I can. So if you need a little bit more clarification, I'll try to be a little bit more specific about what you can play instead of certain picks that I've made while making up my deck profiles. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So for the main deck, you want to play three of the I think it's Rilionia. So I believe her name is Three. Rilionia. So she just got recently reprinted in Magnificent Maven. So now the card, I think it's like 7 cents. Really, this is your searcher. So this is your starter for the deck. She does pretty much everything that you need her to do. She searches a Magistas spell or trap. And I believe her second point here, let me see if I can get that glare out of there. And she also returns one banished level 4, or she can return one banished level 4 or lower spellcaster monster to your graveyard. And then it says you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one Magistas monster you control, equip it with a Magistas monster from your graveyard, except a level 4. So she helps facilitate the strategy and get the strategy started. So it's good to see her if she's in your open hand. Second card that you really want to play is Zeroa. I believe this card has not received a reprint yet. So this is going to be one of those cards that might be a little bit tougher to get. Excuse me if I might be wrong. I might have to put an edit in there in order to let you guys know exactly what the details or at least the updated details of this card and what it says. But let's go ahead and read it. Zeroa is a level 4 fire spellcaster type. It's also a tuner. So you also want to pay very close attention to which cards are tuners and which cards aren't. I believe, so he can synchro. A lot of this strategy revolves around XYZ's synchros, fusions, links as well. So you want to really pay attention to which cards can synchro summon and which cards can't. But this guy is pretty interesting. His effect is as reads. It says you can target one Magistas monster you control, equip it with a Magistas monster from your extra deck. If this card becomes equipped with a Magistas monster card, you can special summon one level 4 spellcaster from your hand or graveyard in defense position, except for Zeroa, the Magistas Flame. Says, but its effects are negated. You can only use that effect once per turn. So obviously it does facilitate some really good, I guess, recursion. It goes into the graveyard, brings that out, and so on and so forth. Great card. So 3, we're going to run 3 Crowley. And Crowley does facilitate some other combos. I would read it. I think I'm going to go ahead and pass on this. If you guys want to know a little bit more as far as the details go, let me know. I'll go into more detail in future deck profiles. But for now, we'll be running 3 Crowley, and then we'll be running 3 Endymion. So that does not round off all the monsters that we run. What I would like to also run, and one thing that I want to mention is that I am running a small Perform Pal engine. So I've got Damage Juggler and 2 Hat Tricker. I would also recommend you run 1 of the other level 4, I forget what it's called, the one that special summons itself out of the graveyard. I can't tell you what its name is right now, but I would definitely run the last Perform Pow, the last good one, the one that level 4, 1600 attack, special summon itself out of the graveyard. I believe it's also a light attribute. So this would be the Perform Pow package that I would run along with the main monsters from the Magistas archetype. So that's it for the monsters. Let's go ahead and move on to the spells. So we'll be running 3 Trice Magistas. So we'll be running 3 of these. This is pretty standard as far as I know. And matter of fact, this whole spell lineup is very standard. So we'll be running 3 Vitra, I believe. Yeah, Vritra. It's very hard to pronounce, V-R-I-T-R-A. And then 1 Magistus Theurgy, 1 Magistus Invocation, and that will do it for most of the Magistus cards that are in the main deck. However, I did want to add in some other cards that I put into this strategy to help out with some of the plays. I added in 1 Magicalized Fusion and 3 Spell Power Masteries. As far as I know, this is pretty standard to search Endymion. But what I did want to run was 2 Secret Village of the Spellcasters, 1 Terraforming, 1 Metaverse, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Okay, so all these cards here, these are going to be cards that help you facilitate breaking through. And also, if you're going first, this will facilitate help locking your opponent. Also getting a lot of plays started. You can also, if you see Metaverse, you can jump into, if your opponent plays a spell, of course, then you can obviously Metaverse into a Secret Village, which will help out your strategy and hinder your opponent, especially if they don't know what you're playing just yet. Going in, you want to put in a fairly decent amount of going first and second cards. Foolish Burial, obviously, to get a couple cards in the graveyard. You might be able to get your Damage Juggler in the grave in order to get some things started. Also, for some of your Magistas cards, it helps you facilitate some of your combos. So those are just some, so this is just the lineup that I chose to go with. And for the rest of the deck, so this is going to be kind of like the strategies, hand traps, and things like that that I thought would be best, as well as consistency strategies. So I'm running 3 Triple Tactics Talent. I think that this card is really good, this format. Interruptions are constant and persistent. So if you're going to be playing this deck, you're going to need to be competitive. I'm going to be running 3 Pot of Prosperity as well. This is going to be mainly for consistency. I mean, I don't think anybody should have any issues with that. I'm running 1 Forbidden Droplet and then 1 Call by the Grave. Now, you can make some edits into this deck profile however you want to. Some people only like running 2 tactics. Some people like running none or just 1, and then you can put 2 droplets in. Some people don't run Call by the Grave. They'd rather run 3 droplet, so on and so forth. I would say that this is just my pick. This is what I feel most comfortable with when I pick up the deck. So if you feel like running anything else, please feel free to flex these out. If you can't afford the Prosperities, which is, you know, kind of hard to believe, Prosperities is only like about 30 bucks a pop right now. Even if you don't buy them all in a play set, you can still save up a little bit of money, you know, week by week and buy these out. These are not pretty much going to go anywhere anytime soon. But you can also exchange these for Pot of Desires as well. Desires has multiple printings. You can run that. I believe it'll work just as well. I just don't think, I think that you're running enough copies of everything in this strategy in order for it, in order for you to run a Desires. But you're definitely going to need a draw card to help with consistency. So that is it for the main deck. Let's go to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're running 2 Majesty Maidens, I believe that's what her name is. Artemis, yes. The Magistus Moon Maiden. So these are great cards, obviously, to use whenever you're in this strategy. Besides, if you want the sleeve covers, I believe I got these from Imperium Duelist. You can also go on eBay and get some Duelist sleeves from eBay as well for a discount. Some people will resell them, as well as Imperium Duelist will sell them on eBay as well. A lot of these sleeves, they sell out within minutes, so it's very hard to find these over sleeves, which are amazing, by the way. So these are the Tune over sleeves. So if you want to get a closer look, you can. It's got the blue eyes at the bottom. Pretty cool, in Tune at the top. So the next card, as you can see, is going to be Cross Sheep. Since we're going to be going through all different types of extra deck monsters, it only makes sense to have a Cross Sheep in there to help draw and facilitate some other combos. We'll be running a Celine and an access code talker, and that will be it for our links. So I have something a little spicy, at least in my opinion, for the Xyz monsters. So we're going to be running through those really quickly. So we're going to be playing Ninaruru, all right, for our first Xyz monster. She's a rank 4. And then we're going to be playing little Kilonia. I believe that's what her name is. We're going to be playing her for our second rank 4. Then we're going to be playing Ptolemaeus for our third rank 4. And if you know what's coming next, then you know what the game is about. We'll be running a diamond as well for our fourth and last Xyz monster. So obviously these two will help prevent your opponent from recurring things. So this is going to be directly targeted at the meta, as well as other decks that like to put things back into their deck. It's just going to go ahead and wipe that out and banish it. Or deck cards that send cards from the deck to the graveyard, it's going to go ahead and stop that whole mechanic. So as soon as your opponent sees this, normally it's time to scoop it up, unless they have some type of retort. But most of the time, if you're in a position to make a Ptolemaeus and bring out a diamond, you're most likely going to win that game. All right, that's it for links and XYZs. So let's move on to the synchros, and then lastly, the fusions. So for the synchros, we'll be running a Borreload Savage Dragon. We'll be running 2 Zoroas Calamities. Awesome cards, by the way. And these cards have been reprinted. I believe that they are rare now, either rare or super. I couldn't tell you. 1 Yarham, and that will be it for our synchros. So this card itself is not very good, but when it's used as an equipped card, it's pretty great. This card is amazing. If you can get this out every single game, I recommend it you to do that. And for our last Magistas card, we'll be playing, I think it's called Iwas. I can't pronounce the name of it. Fusion card, great card. It's kind of like a snatch deal when you use it. It's pretty awesome. But for our last fusion, we're going to be playing a Quintet Magician. When you get this out with a Secret Village of the Spellcaster, your opponent can't literally do anything. This card cannot be tributed. It cannot be used as fusion material. It cannot be destroyed by card effects. So, and it's got 4,500 attack, and you're using all different kinds of spellcasters. So the easy thing about this is that it only requires 5 spellcasters with different names. Your whole deck is spellcasters. Your extra deck is mainly spellcasters. You're going to go ahead and get those names most likely first or second turn. That's where that Magicalized Fusion comes in. Use that, banish all 5 or 5 different spellcasters. Bring out Quintet, that's your win con. At least one of your win cons anyway. I don't think it's a win more card. I think that you can strategically bring this out and theoretically win the duel. So that's all I've got so far for this deck. I'm going to go ahead and lay some stuff out. Yeah, let's go ahead and lay it out again. Yeah, excellent, excellent. So if you liked it, sometimes I get a few people that will, give me some really good feedback. I really enjoy the feedback, guys. Please keep on letting me know like what could be done better as far as choices to be made and everything else. You know, there's always room for improvement for YGO podcasts. I really do appreciate you guys and your support. Please keep supporting the channel. Like, comment, subscribe, share the channel with a friend, and I will catch you guys at the next conversation. Take it easy.